You're welcome back from that short break. In our main discuss segment today, we are discussing the impact of microfinance bank in Nigeria's economy. And joining us on the conversation today is Pastor Bade Adefioye. He's the managing director of Chronicles Microfinance Bank. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well.
Good morning, sir. You're
Morning
welcome
to
to
you
the show.
ladies.
Yes, thank you for joining on the program today.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's our pleasure.
I'm
So,
glad to be here.
Looking at a microfinance bank, the impact it had on Nigeria economy, can you just share with us what the concept of microfinance bank really is?
Thank you so much. Microfinance banking came as a result of the desire of the federal government to bring up what we call financial inclusion, especially from those people in the rural area and the villages, so that they can come in the net of the entire economy, and also for them to be lifted in terms of financing their businesses and making them to look really good as far as the economy is concerned. Well, the concept of microfinance came quite a long time ago. First, when we have the People's Bank, you remember the People's Bank of old, and then thereafter we had the Community Bank. And afterwards, because of certain problems that they had in Community Bank, many of them failed. They were not able to fulfill their obligations, and so the federal government now came up with the issue of microfinance bank. And the microfinance bank has been seriously regulated by the central bank and is doing quite well for us to harness deposit from those who are in the rural area, low-income earners and low-income family. In fact, vulnerable groups like the handicapped, the household women, bring them in the net of having their income also harnessed into the economy.
Okay.
So that's the aspect.
All right, sir. So you said basically it's targeted at rural settlers,
Yeah.
to help their their access to loans and grants, and that commercial banks cannot actually do, because we have less of commercial bank activities in rural area. So but I noticed that we have this microfinance bank also in the big cities. So is it not, I think they are kind of leaving their aims, their goals, targeting the rural settlers instead of having to go to the cities. Don't you think? Well, why do we have a microfinance bank in the cities then, if it's really targeted at rural settlers?
Like I told you, I said microfinance bank is targeted towards low-income earners.
Yes, all right.
Okay.
The women, we have them in the cities as well.
All right.
We have them most of them in the rural areas.
Okay.
Places like Asheshe, Owode, and so many other places that we have around. So the target of the government is for us to get those low-income earners, whether they are in the cities or in the rural area. Well, basically, the target is on those rural farmer, petty trader, artisans that are hidden in some this local government area in the rural places.
Right.
So that's exactly what it is. Well, of course, those in the cities, like in Lagos, they are doing their business and they are also fulfilling what the central bank wants them to do.
Right.
Though they have a competition with the commercial bank. We have the commercial bank there.
Yeah.
But at times, what the microfinance bank do, the commercial bank, they don't, do that for the local commoner. Some of the rural people, they don't have access to facilities from the commercial bank because of the regulation, because of the requirement. The requirement of commercial bank is always more than that of the microfinance bank. At times, you overlook some of those requirements by the commercial bank.
All right.
All right. So before now, commercial banks traditionally give loans or lend to large-scale enterprises, before the advent of microfinance bank. And with the advent of microfinance bank now, as you said, low-income earners have opportunity to get loans from banks and grants.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, how has been the response of Nigerians? This low-income earners that this is meant for, how has been their response? Because these days, we find out that people don't see microfinance banks as banks. They don't even consider it. They tend, or they are more willing to go to be a commercial banks, mega banks, you know, to grant them loans and the rest. Has there been a positive response for the people that this has been made?
Yeah, surely. We have been getting response from members of the public. You find that many of them always want to come to microfinance bank because, you know, the procedure for granting them loan is quicker than the commercial bank. The requirement from commercial bank is also very high. Like in microfinance bank, we can give collateral free loans, micro loans, 50,000, 20,000 to people. You know, somebody selling cocoa that we see around, 5,000 could be enough for her to make her business to grow. Now, you don't expect a commercial bank to give such amount. So we give micro loan and semi-micro loan to people. Now, one of the procedure of our loan, we have what we call group loan. We have all these market women to group themselves together, and they will give them small loan as little as 20,000 to each one of them, and they will be paying back on weekly basis. Now, and so many people are trooping into microfinance bank. They feel comfortable. Microfinance bank can understand their language. We can speak their language to them, and they understand what we do. So many of them are really patronizing micro. And when you talk about this issue of financial inclusion that federal government want all the people that are having income, they want to harness their income into the economy. So it's no longer good for anyone to keep money in the house, under the bed. Keep it, and with the use of ATM card, you can make your withdrawal. You can come into the bank and make your withdrawal at any time. And so we do domestic fund transfer. You are here in Asheshe, you can transfer money to any part of Nigeria without having to go to the bank. You understand? So people are really patronizing microfinance. I think I should think that people prefer microfinance bank, especially low income earner who want small money, as low as 5,000, maximum say 500,000.
Okay. I'm actually excited with this collateral free loan that you talked about. So does it mean that this collateral free, because you know, even if the money is little, 5,000, 10,000, it's still something. And is there a way they can check on these people if they don't meet up to paying back, or does it affect the bank? Does it have to affect the microfinance bank, or there's a way they can still regenerate that money?
Yeah. Whenever we give money out, microfinance bank, it is very, very necessary for the money to be paid back. When I said collateral free, not that we don't have some other means of tracking down our money. There's what we call group loan, and then there is guarantee, group guarantee. Each person in the group guarantees one another. So those people will now follow each other to make sure that the money is paid on a weekly basis. So in microfinance bank, we look at guarantee as like a collateral. At times we take undated check from the guarantors, so that at any point in time when the debtor fails to pay, we can resort to the guarantor. And if the guarantor is not also coming up to meet his obligation, then we can throw his check. And you know, when your check is a bounce check, it's criminal as far as Nigeria is concerned today. So we have a forum, a method of getting back the loan when we give it to you, when you are not paying back. It's not that it's totally collateral free, but we take guarantee, as simple as guarantee, as a form of collateral.
I like the fact that you know, microfinance bank in this simplicity form is actually, you know, impacting Nigeria economy, because with everything you say, you know, this collateral free, this you know, group loan, guarantee loan, and everything, it's actually, you know, takes off much burden from citizens as against what commercial bank would do. So I want you to share with us the procedures, you know, to getting loans from microfinance banks.
All right. What is important is, first thing, you must be a customer. And to be a customer, you open an account. And the usual requirement for opening an account in commercial bank, that's also what we take. We need 2 passport photographs of the person, mode of identification, valid mode of identification, like international passports, national ID card, permanent voters card for those rural people, we take it from them. So after you have opened an account, we expect you to have developed a relationship with the bank, and thereafter you can make a request for what you want. And then we assess your ability to pay back. We check your character, and we see you are good, you will be able to pay back as I went due. We go ahead and give such loan to people.
I want to ask that when you open an account, you don't have to make a fixed deposit.
No.
And what is the span? What is the duration between the time you open an account and between the time you can, ask for a loan?
No, like as far as microfinance bank is concerned, open an account, run the account for 3 months minimum.
All right.
That's the rule. But there are times there will be exception to the rule for those who are group customers. When you want to give group loan, let them open the account, make some payment for 3 weeks. There's a graduated payment for 3 weeks. They make that deposit for 3 weeks. Then we assess the group, we attend their meetings, and after that, then we will now give them form, they fill the form, and we assess them, we can give the loan.
Okay.
All right.
So, sir, how much at max can a microfinance bank give as a loan?
How much maximum?
100.
Well, according to the regulation of the Central Bank of Nigeria, it depends on your capital.
Okay.
You understand? Individual, 1% of your payroll share capital. For group and companies, registered company, 5%. So that one means that if you are a unit microfinance bank, you cannot give more than 200,000 naira to an individual, and then not more than 1 million to a corporate body, or say a group customer put together. But you see, at times, we always overlook that. So far, we know that the money is going to come back. Like money, at times, when we give money to churches, we give them more than that because we believe that they will be able to make the payment as at when due.
Okay. Now, still talking about giving loans to group, and you just made mention of church as a body, and those what's it called? This ajo, and trip daily contribution and everything. There are some of them that are in group. Do you also consider them?
Yeah, we do. Around our office, we allow people to do what we call daily contribution. We have our staff that goes around that will take those contributions one after the other. And then at the end of a particular time, we give them a loan. We can give them what we call daily contribution advance. We give them what they are supposed to collect at the end of the month ahead, and they will be paying it back gradually. But at times we have some difficulty in that area because of unfaithfulness of some of our people, and so we are restricting what we do in that regard, as far as my own bank is concerned.
All right.
Sir, commercial banks, they have this social media, the way they advert, they have internet banking, they have ATM, they have transfer,
Token.
they have this, they've updated it.
Yeah.
What has microfinance put in place for not only the rural area that does not know how to make use of those things, but for members, for youths like graduates that want to go into entrepreneur, that comes to microfinance to do? How do they make it so easy for them to access the bank?
Oh, so easy. The social media, we make use of it. When it comes to, you know that even when you talk about an average rural person, they have handset.
Okay.
You can make transfer through their handset,
Okay.
and many of them have ATM card. They can make withdrawal through ATM card. In fact, microfinance, so many microfinance banks now make use of ATM card.
Wow.
Because we also have a correspondent bank. Many of us go through our correspondent bank. Like as far as my own bank is concerned, we have Zenith Bank, we have First Bank, and EcoBank. Now, those banks can give their own ATM card together, the kind of coming together, the microfinance bank and the bank and the commercial bank. And so it is given to our customer, even if it's a rural person, he can make it, if it's a student anywhere in Nigeria, he can have an account in a microfinance bank and still be able to get in touch with his account wherever he may be. So that's me.
In the next 5 years, where do you see microfinance we get to?
Well,
Where
in the next 5 years, we look at microfinance bank moving very high.
Okay.
in such a situation that they will be able to almost, if not at par, almost at par with commercial bank. Because if you look at some of these other third world countries, you discover that microfinance bank is the major bank that is financing the economy in those countries. And what the central bank is doing, central bank also want to lift up microfinance banking in Nigeria so that they will be able to service many people within the economy better than what they are doing now. So I can see the microfinance bank growing stronger and stronger in the next 5 years and even beyond.
Wow, that's so insightful. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. We'll go on a short break. When we'll come back, we'll continue with this
All right, thank you.
segment. Please stay tuned.
Know that the Lord, He is God. It is He who has made us, not we ourselves. Be thankful to Him and bless His name. For the Lord is good. His mercy is everlasting, and His truth endures to all generations.
You're welcome back from that break. It's still Keep It Simple, and we're discussing the impact of microfinance bank in Nigeria economy. And we still have our guests in the studio, Pastor Bade Adefioye. So still talking about the importance of microfinance bank in Nigeria. What is the in your rating? How would you rate the success of microfinance bank since its advent in 2007? Has it been able to really do what it has been projected to do, achieve its aims and objectives?
Yes, absolutely. We discover that within the Nigerian economy as of today, many people have been much involved in microfinancing through microfinance bank. Many people, especially rural women, who ordinarily do not have opportunity to enter into the big banks, they are really trooping into microfinance bank. Now, the financial inclusion that I mentioned, so much money have been realized into the economy through microfinance bank. Now, when you talk about financing small businesses, greatly. You find some people, young graduates, market women, who ordinarily do not have access to funds. They now have access to funds, and their business is growing gradually. Many of them who initially had, maybe Okada rider, many of them with one, gradually have gone into 4, 5, and many of them are even buying cars, to run their transport business.
Yes.
When you talk about the peasant farmer, many of them now have access to microfinance bank so that they can generate income. What about school owners? Many of them are doing fine. And so my own assessment, microfinance bank is doing well as far as the Nigerian economy is concerned, and there is expectation that they will still do more in generating finances for low income earners within this economy.
Okay.
So we can say that to a large extent, microfinance bank has helped in tackling unemployment rate in Nigeria.
Yeah, you are right.
drastically.
You are right to say so.
Okay, so I want to ask you a question. Since the inception of microfinance bank, how has been the support from the regulators and government? Have they been supporting the system even from the onset? They didn't just let them go on their own. They've been supporting it. They've been giving terms and conditions that would, work out for the microfinance bank. How has it been?
Yes. The Central Bank of Nigeria, which is the regulatory authority, has been regulating microfinance bank. And they have been so supportive. Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation also. They turn out regulation, they supervise, at least every year, they will visit every microfinance bank to find out and check their record and see whether they are doing according to the guidelines. And then they also organize trainings for the managing director, trainings for staff, of microfinance bank. Regularly, they give support when it comes to issue of access to fund. They give support through some of the federal government organizations so that microfinance bank can have access to fund for on-lending to other members of the society. So the regulatory authority have been really doing fine, and that's why we don't have microfinance bank dying suddenly. Recently, we overheard, though it has not come up, as a rule, but we have overheard that the paid-up share capital of microfinance bank is going to, increase very soon, so that you have more capacity, more power to do the business of microfinance.
So you want to say there are no government policies that are unfavorable to the operations of microfinance banks?
No, I will not say that are offensive. No, it's good for us, because when you do not regulate the kind of business, everyone will do it anyhow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So because of the regulation, the board of directors, the management, they have been working according to the regulation. So I think what they are doing is all right. In fact, they have been supporting us. For example, when you talk about issue of data capturing, the one that we find in all the commercial banks, registering for people for bank verification number, they gave us support. The cost of the machine is supposed to be 600,000, and they said they will pay 200 out of the 600,000. So it's good, and I think it's very, very fine. What they are doing, we should commend Central Bank.
So talking about support, as a businesswoman, a petty businesswoman who comes into microfinance bank, she's not in any group. Like I said, contributions to any group. She's not in any group. She has done the 3 months running of the accounts, and now she wants to get a loan. What does the bank put in place to maintain, to follow up if she's doing her business right, if truly she has a business, if truly she's going to use the money on the business? How are they following up whether their business is moving forward, whether they are using the money appropriately for what they've said they want to use it for?
No, if you have an individual woman who wants to come and access our fund, just the normal procedure. Let the person open an account. Let us be able to assess the income of that person. What is he doing presently? We don't start up a business for anyone. You must have been doing something that you have gathered some experience over time. And then we'll come and inspect your place of business. We'll collect some information, maybe your statement of account from the bank you are using presently. We want to see how you are doing the business. And then from there, if you know you have the ability to pay the amount you are asking for, then we'll go ahead and give you the money. But know it, like I mentioned the other time, you need guarantors. You take 2 guarantors from you. And then depending on the amount you are asking for, we need some other near collateral from you. But it depends on the board of directors of individual microfinance bank. Some of them may say, okay, we need collateral, just to be sure. People now in Nigeria, you can't trust them, especially when it comes to the issue of money. They will take money and they will run away. So you find some of the microfinance bank now asking for collateral, maybe deed of assignment of your property, maybe CFO from your property, to be sure, depending on the amount that you are accepting. But what is important is that before you have access to loan, you must have a viable business. You must have the income, your cash flow must show that you can pay back as at when due.
What has the microfinance bank get to be different from others? Small group of people contributing, small group of people. We have other groups whereby they lend money and they give them terms and conditions, like grooming and the rest. What else can microfinance bank hope to do to just overhead those kind of, just to be in the best position for people to come to?
You see, you have some people they call alajo now.
Yes,
you know those ones.
Yes, we have
on certified alajo that goes around. Microfinance bank is better because, like I told you, we are regulated.
Yes.
My staff will not just go outside, collect money and run away. If she does that, then the bank will be responsible. If our analyzer can collect money and then you may not find the person. So grooming and all the rest, we are in the same category of microfinancing. And so we are all of us are collaborating to see what we can do to make microfinancing quite better than what we have today.
Okay, sir, I would like to ask you, there is this, what do you have to say about competition from mega banks rather than cooperation from them? Because there are instances where I've seen some mega banks go to small scale business, advertise to market to them and tell them that they can give them loans, and I think that should be for microfinance banks.
Yeah.
So how has been the cooperation level and the competition level from mega banks to microfinance banks?
One of the challenges that we are facing as a microfinance practitioner is the competition we also suffer from the commercial bank. You may know that commercial bank also they have microfinance bank.
Yeah.
Some of these commercial banks have microfinance.
Wow.
And one of our contention has always been, why are they having microfinance?
Yeah.
But what the regulatory authorities always tell us is that we should be for our own business, go to the rural area. We know where the commercial bank cannot be. Commercial bank cannot be in some rural area,
Yeah.
but we can be there because of our low capital setup. We don't need to have a very big office like that of a commercial bank. And so what we do is that because of our ability to enter into the grassroots, we are using that to make sure that we are beating whatever competition that the commercial bank may be giving to us. And then one other thing is that the low-income earner, they feel free with us than commercial bank. There's a way a customer will enter into my office, no matter how you look, no matter how poor you may be, I will still give you great recognition. Rather than commercial bank may not look that way. So we believe that we can surmount those competitions that is coming from commercial bank.
All right, sir. I would like to ask, what would you say is the challenges facing owners of small-scale businesses, micro businesses, that are serving as obstruction towards the attainment of the microfinance bank goals and objectives?
One of the challenges is the issue of this competition you just mentioned now. The other one is customers not being faithful to the agreement that we reach in paying back their loan as at when due. Many microfinance banks face that kind of challenge. But with our strategy, we make sure that we can get those money back from them. And that's why we believe that we should be close to them. Before you take the loan, we know where you are, we know your house, we know your kind of business, we know how you generate your income, and we should make sure we track that income so that you'll be able to pay the money as I went due. So the great challenge is the bad loan that we have as a microfinance practitioner in Nigeria.
As owners of small-scale businesses, what are the challenges they face that deter them from surviving for a long span after collecting loans from microfinance bank, and with all the support you give them, some small-scale businesses cannot still grow past like the first 2 years or so?
Well,
Why do you think it's like
prevailing
that?
harsh economic condition of Nigeria also. Somebody has taken money to do a particular business, and the business is not prospering because of low patronage, because of many people also not being faithful to them as well. So when a customer, a small business owner is not generating enough income, then it's a kind of challenge to them, because we will ask them, the money we have given to you, pay back. And they also will be complaining that money is not coming, we are sorry, we'll pay tomorrow. And so we also look at the situation with them. Some of them also suffer some hardship, maybe unforeseen circumstance, maybe their goods stolen, fire, outbreak, accident, and so many other challenges that they face.
Apart from the unforeseen contingencies that can come up, what solution would you prefer to people
to those
facing
people,
challenges?
we give them education, we enlighten them, we tell them what to do. Like, we always tell them that if you want to take money, make sure you divert this money to your business that will generate income. You have some of them, they will come and take money, say it's for business, and they will go and use it to pay students' school fees. They will go and use it to buy a car or build certain things that is going to bring income to them. So we always advise them, after you have taken this money, make sure that the money is basically for your business, so that you'll be able to pay back when you make your income. You'll be able to pay back both the principal and the interest, because we give them with interest.
Well, that is actually
So how
very,
low is
very
the
insightful.
interest?
Yeah?
How low is the interest?
No,
They are affordable.
it's available. You see, what we always say is that let the money be available. If the money is available, you should be ready to pay the money. Well, our interest rate varies from 3% per month to 5% per month, and it's always on reducing balance.
All right, sir. What would you say about the predominance of microfinance bank folding up? I've seen some microfinance bank that, you know, they did not last the test of time. What would you say?
No, not
is
in
actually
recent, not in
affecting
recent
them?
time. Not in recent time, but in the past, you have microfinance bank going down because of bad management. The management team is not there. The board supervision is not up to date, and then the issue of customer apathy, they are not paying back when they are supposed to pay back. All those bad loan kills microfinance bank. But with the surveillance of the federal government through the Central Bank of Nigeria, that is nip in the bud. So so far so good. In recent time, microfinance bank have not gone under the drain.
Well, thank you very, very
Thank
much,
you
sir,
very
for
much,
your
sir.
time, for your effort. We appreciate the fact that we called you and you obliged us, and we hope you do the same next time.
Fully,
Thank
no
you so
problem.
much.
Thank you
And Wiki and Miriam, thank you very much for
You're
this
welcome.
episode. And to our viewers, I hope you enjoyed this episode. You could send in your contributions to @officialgovtv with hashtag Keep It Simple. I'd like to know what you think of this particular topic. So till next time, I remain Toluwalopo Kirili. Enjoy the rest of your day.